Hey guys, this is Colin here, just popping in to say thank you all for all of your support. Whether you're listening to the podcast, whether you're checking us out on Instagram, whether you're one of the few people who comments on Seventh Valkyrie, whether you're, just sharing this with your friends, or whether you're just, downloading a podcast every once in a while. I think I might have already said that, but this journey gets hard. The adventure gets hard sometimes. And there are times where I don't believe in myself, or there are times where, it feels like, what am I really doing this for? Or is this just some mad dream? And knowing that I've got you guys all out there supporting me, liking the show, asking for more, it just makes this all worth doing. So thank you guys for all that. And without further ado, let's get into another episode of The Adventure Behind the Adventure. Well, hello. Welcome to an episode of Tabta, The Adventure Behind the Adventure. This has been sort of a strange week. It's funny, I started this kind of epic journey, and I was like, oh my god, we're going to launch everything. It's going to be great. With my very silly combination of changing my life over the course of the past week and a half. And it's funny how quickly you can stumble on journeys. What's that phrase? Journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. Well, it's really rough when on the second one you trip and fall. So I went to an amazing Roger Waters concert this weekend. It was great. And then immediately afterward got super sick, took us 12 hours to get home. And I woke up this morning, having to face the realities of work and feeling like I hadn't hit my targets, hadn't hit my goals, and just feeling like an utter failure, which is really crazy that in a week you can just be like, well, nothing's happened, so it's all a failure. Not going to drill too much on the boo-hoo-hoo me, but it is interesting. Sometimes we kind of think of, as we get more and more into the lives of these creators and, and these people, we're so used to seeing these invincible figures who are, I don't know, you look at these great artists and it feels like when you see them from the outside that they're just these unstoppable forces of art and artwork. And it is so funny how at the same time you can look beneath all that and you can see that there are incredible moments of struggle and incredible moments of trials and tribulations. And you look at kind of the tragic stories of artists who have fallen, or the artists who retreat from public eye or freak out, and you realize that when it comes down to it, stepping out and putting your art into the world is a brutal and difficult challenge. It's unforgiving a lot of the time. This is not a boo-hoo-hoo me, but an example is I've had this dream since the end of college, which I've had since the second year of high school, and I kept thinking every single year I was like, oh, this is the year I'm going to make it big, and for a while, and after a while, I stopped really caring about the idea of making it big, because I knew that what was more important to me than financial success was really feeling like I delivered something. And now I'm actually there. I just got back the full revisions of Prologue Chapter 1. And, this is something that and it really awakened inside me, this feeling of wow, I might be close. I might be close to finally realizing this as a dream. This finally sounds like what I dreamed it would be. And that's really cool. But at the same time, it's stressful because you're like, wow, I'm putting out this good thing. What if no one listens to it? What if no one cares? What if people hate it? We live in this world where people are not willing to spend more than 6 seconds on a piece of content. We're all about farming optimization, farming likes, farming, and the temptation always grows when you see people who are being successful and you're like, what? Someone's being successful being a TikTok NPC? What the how is that making thousands of dollars a day, and it's like this dream that you've chased for decades isn't. And again, this isn't a boo-hoo-hoo me. I just kind of wanted, as I'm taking you guys deeper into the behind the scenes, I wanted to give you guys kind of that insight into what, the mental struggle and the resilience that it takes to continue being a creative, to kind of continue pushing forward. And there's failures along the way. So that's kind of, I don't know, that's just kind of the interesting thoughts that I had today, is like, and wondering for myself, and kind of talking through it with you guys, this idea of, how do you find, in those times where you're like, I don't necessarily believe in myself, like, how do you find that support? Do you find it from your family? Do you find it from your friends? Do you find it from, looking at the people who walked before you? And it's a combination of all of them for me, and I think it's a combination of all of them for everybody else. And what's, I think that's a universal struggle. It's not just for creatives. It's for everybody. It's anytime you step into the arena of life. Anyway, so that's kind of the headspace currently, which I think is nice. I like kind of giving you guys an idea into the emotional side of creating this, and how it's not just about tasks and clicking things off of checklists. It's about engaging with yourself and your own dreams and your own possibilities. In terms of updates, like I said, Prologue is fully edited. I'm checking revisions and we're getting it back over. And my goal is to actually, by the time I head home for Christmas, and this is really ambitious, and we'll see if it happens, but because right now it's December 4th, and I leave on December 14th, and I want to record the entirety of season 2, outside of the first 2 chapters, which I have recorded, in that time. And that means a lot of hard work. I've got to get work. Fortunately, so I'm overseeing some projects on my marketing side of things, but those are getting mostly done. I've got to write a few articles because we lost an editor, and I'm training up a writer, and I'm training up another one. And while we're doing that, we got behind because we lost the guy, and there was a whole bunch of kerfuffle-ish things, but. Yeah, so the goal is get some stuff done today and tomorrow, and then sorry, I'm hiccuping. And then just lock it in with Seventh Valkyrie, and that's going to be special, I think. This is a season that I'm really proud of and I'm really happy about. And I think that, and usually what happens is when I get into the rhythm, you start to get momentum and it just feeds off of itself, but we'll see. That'll be the journey of this next little chunk of time is, I've got to record 36 more chapters in, 9 days, basically? So I got to average 4 chapters a day. And we'll see if that works. I hope I don't blow out my voice. I hope I don't blow out, anything else. A knee. That would be really weird if I blew out my knee recording audio. But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. Goals are to get done all the work that I have to do today, and in the early hours of tomorrow, and then from there we move and we move forward and we move into recording the next season. And I think that's going to be really exciting. And I imagine and I hope that after a little bit of that momentum, after a little bit of that success, that I will have a much more uplifting story to share to you guys next Monday. So we'll keep you guys posted. In the meantime, like I said, thank you guys so much for all of your support, whether silently, whether through, sending this, emotional support, like my family. You guys are great. Or whether it's just, appreciating the shit and for whatever reason, letting me into your heart and letting me into your earwaves to listen to these stories, because that is what that's why I do it. It's to share this thing. Obviously, I'm happy to have it created for myself, but the true joy of it is to share. And thank you all for welcoming it into your lives. So anyway, this will be the end of this little session, and I hope you guys take care. I love you all. And Yeah. Oh, one last thing. So when I was listening to Roger Waters at his concert, and it was really spectacular, and I'll have probably more to say at some point. I've often described myself as Roger Watersy, getting like emotional, interposed with angry and righteous fury about things, and then just like and trying to translate that into my writing. And seeing his farewell tour, it was almost sad. Or it was not sad. It was important. It felt like to watch him on his farewell tour. I've never seen him before, and this is a guy who has changed millions of lives around the world, brought his art to millions, if not billions, of people, and is still fighting with all he's got to try to change the world with his music. And he left with this sort of farewell of where he kind of inverted the last lines of The Wall. Where it had been, the bleeding hearts and artists were sort of trying to bash themselves against his wall, and now 40 years later, he's the bleeding heart and artist that is trying desperately still to hold on with this music, to share and to teach lessons and to teach people. And it got me thinking, who is that next generation of artists that are going to try to change the world? And they're all around us, and right now, I think we're in a bit of a lull in terms of the creation of. We have so many things competing for our attention. We have so many things competing for to try to hijack your brain with dopamine, and I don't know. I think it's more important now than ever before for myself, but also for all the other artists around the world who truly have something to say, to continue pushing forward and to create art that is lasting, and to create art that is meaningful, and to create art that is created for that higher purpose of telling something that needs to be told, and sharing music and art and film and cinema and stuff that needs to be told, rather than something just driven by can we get the most likes? Can we get the most engagement? So that was a little sidebar, but that's the thought that I'll leave you guys with, is as we kind of, because Roger Waters is on the tail end. He's 80 years old, and who knows how long he'll be around. I think he's angry enough that he'll live another 20 years, but I don't know. It made me think about who are we in this, and as an artist and as one of many, many, many talented artists with a lot to say, what is our role and how do we carry that torch as these people who kind of are from an earlier era when you could take over the world with just your heart and a song? How do we move forward, and how do we continue to share our hearts with the world? And I don't know. That's kind of where I'm at right now. So much love to all you guys. Take care. And keep riding along. It's the adventure behind the adventure, and the real adventure is coming soon. So keep an eye out for more Seventh Valkyrie. Oh, and listen to the sneak preview of Shattered Visage. We're going to be doing something totally different with the show this season. I've got a really gifted audio editor, and I can't wait to share his work and help it bring my work to life. It's going to be spectacular. So stay tuned.